Welcome back to the next instalment in the Gemini Carp Tackle Carp Interest Collaborative Series. So today we've made the journey across to Peterborough and we're here at Bluebell Lakes. So we're halfway through the collaborative series now, episode 4. We're just coming to July.
We managed to land ourselves on pegs 7 and 8 on the Kingfisher Lake. Due to the series being Pete and Liam Hunter UK 40-pound carp, these are the kind of lakes that we need to be hitting.
It's not a big lake, so we're hoping that regardless of us being on the back of the wind, we can still get amongst some fish.
If we want to catch a Kingfisher carp, we have to be on a Kingfisher Lake. So therefore we've dropped in these pegs and hopefully we can make something work. And if not, we can always look at a move in a couple of days if we need to.
So me and Pete played a little game earlier to determine who was going to be fishing peg 7 or peg 8. Unfortunately, I lost, so I've ended up in peg 7. Just looped my marker float on now. I'm going to wrap it up to the max my swim can take, which is 50 yards. Fire it out there and see if I can find anything that I can present on.
So I managed to beat Liam in a nice simple game of rock, paper, scissors, which led to me picking peg 8. The reason why I picked peg 8 is I got more yards in this swim. I get 75 yards. It's a lot more spacious and I've got no lily pads in front of me. Liam's just been doing some leading about. I'm about to do the same. All we're doing is trying to do minimal casts just to find somewhere we can present a bait until we can see some showing fish. So I'll just quickly loop my bag on. This one's going to go down the margin with a handful of boilies over it. We're going to keep a nice slack line. So my approach is 3 solid bags, 1 in the margin, 1 at 17.5 wraps, and I'm going to put this one at 14. And I'm going to give it till the morning to see if the fish can tell me where they are.
That's all 3 rods out on the dance floor for me now. So with the left-hand rod, I've gone solid bag, just to the side of these lily pads and over the bank of weed. As recommended by the bailiff. I've put a handful of bait over that. Solid bag on there. Middle rod again, solid bag. I've gone to the maximum my swim can take, which is 50 yards. I had a lead about there earlier and it's beautifully clear. Right hand rod at the minute, that's on a adjustable zig, 3 foot under the water. Contemplating whether to change that overnight to a roaming solid bag, but I think for the first night, just settling, I'm going to leave that on a zig and see if that's going to be what does the business. We'll go into more detail tomorrow about exactly what we use and how we're tying them up and how we're going to approach the session. But for tonight, I think we're just going to ease ourselves in gently and have a bit of a chill.
7 PM, first evening. No fish to report as of yet, as expected. The rods have been out there about 4 hours, but we are comfortably set up now and we are looking forward to the 3 days ahead of us.
Yeah, I've been speaking to Pete just, so I'm quietly confident, I think the term is. I'm not sure why, because I'm normally the one that's always a bit sort of negative Nelly on these sessions, but no, I'm quietly confident. It's a tricky water, so
we're definitely going to be up against it.
Yeah, 100%.
But one fish out of here and you might never beat that fish again. So we started off with a more of a stealthy approach. We've gone with just solid bags and 1 zig, no bait, only a few handfuls in the margin. So we're going to see if that can, everyone's been spomming. So hopefully us with this tactic of not spomming or not moving any rods about, hopefully it can bring them in. Even though it's pushing down that side of the lake with the wind, it may push back with the noise on the water.
You did have to redo one of your rods though, didn't you?
Sat there on my bed and I had like about 6 bleeps and I kind of shot up and then I just seen a moorhen doing a Mo Farah across the bank and my bobbin come up and it didn't drop, so I wouldn't be confident seeing that and going through the night. So yeah, quickly went out there and redone it, but all back out.
I think we're just going to sit there now, watch the water. I know it's always said, but if last session taught us anything, watching the water is so important. It saved the session, so
yeah,
that's what we're going to do now, see if we can spot anything. We've both got solid bags tied up, ready to go in our buckets, so that if we do see anything, we can drop it right on the heads.
So we're just going to pull the chairs up to the water and then literally see any signs. We haven't seen nothing yet, but we're hopeful we might see some signs.
Little nightly update for you then. I was just sat in the bivvy making myself a cup of tea, ready for the evening, and just behind me a fish has shown. I'm not 100% sure whether it was a carp or a pike going after the small fish that have been showing in front of me all day, but it was a substantial splash, so filled me with a lot of confidence going into this evening, and hopefully we can get a couple of fish on the bank for you. Good morning, really quiet night for both of us. Nothing at all to report, to be honest with you. I think Pete had a bit of an issue with the bird life through the night, but my rods have remained motionless, so I think the plan of attack today, we're going to bring the rods in around 11-12 o'clock, go down and get some breakfast, and then come back hungry and ready to go again. I think what we've decided to do is when we do get back later, we're going to introduce a little bit of bait. I think Pete might go a bit heavier than what I'm intending to do, but we're definitely going to get a little bit of bait out there. They only finished spawning 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I think they're definitely going to be up for a feed. So I'm just going to finish this cup of tea, give the rods a couple more hours in the water, and then we're going to reel them in and go down and get a breakfast.
So plan of action, we decided we're going to put a bit of bait out just before we leave for the calf, and hopefully the relief of pressure on this side of the lake brings them a bit of confidence to move in and start getting on that bait. So yeah, while we're filling our bellies, hopefully they're filling theirs, and by the time we get back and get our rigs out on there, we hopefully get a bite. However, I've been speaking to some people in the lake, and the majority of the bites at the moment is coming from midnight all the way through to 10 AM. It says hardly anything's been coming out in the day, so we're going to use this time to go and feed, restock our stomachs, refresh, come back, get our rods in for the evening and sit on them, minimal disturbance.
Sounds good.
Sounds like a plan?
Yeah, let's do it. Been for our little walk down to the calf and to the shop on site, but unfortunately Pete got his timings all wrong and the calf was closed. So rods are still out the water. Pete's put one of his in onto the baited spot, but mine are staying out. I'm not putting mine out for the next couple of hours. I'm going to try and rest the water as much as I can. But I'm just going to get the old stove on now. Being as we couldn't get any food at the calf, I'm going to cook us up a couple of nice bacon sandwiches to get us through the rest of this morning. So I'm going to take this moment now whilst the rods are out the water to talk tactics and let you know exactly what we're doing this session and why we're doing it. So like we've both said, predominantly it's going to be solid bags for us this session. I mentioned at the end of the last video at Bade and all that I frustrated myself a little bit that I went away from what I know and what I've said in multiple videos is my favourite tactic, which obviously is the solid bag. With that in mind, this session I'm going to focus on what I know and see if it'll come good. So first things first, you've got to get your components together. We've got the Gemini carp tackle solid bags, the tidy stem, and I've got here a 3-ounce lead because, again, it's a barbless rule, and I just want that extra bit of weight to drive the hook home if I am lucky enough to get a pickup. And lastly, you're going to need your rig of choice to go inside your solid bag. Now, my rig has always been the blowback rig, 4 inches in length, and I go for as big a hook as I can get away with. So first we're going to take the tidy stem and the 3-ounce Gemini lead, slide it on, perfect fit. So the stems themselves come with either this O-ring attachment or a quick change swivel, whichever you're more comfortable in using. I've gone for the O-ring attachment. Then it's quite simply take your rig loop side first, through the O-ring, and then the hook and all the components at the business end of the rig go through the loop on the rig itself. Pull it all down tight, and there you have it. That's your rig and your tidy stem all come together. And finishing off, it's just a hook bait choice. I've gone for pink magic beam wafter. So now we're ready to construct the solid bag itself. Now there's numerous ways to tie a solid bag, but I'm going to show you how I do it. First things first, hook bait and hook in, and I'll push that hook bait as close down to the corner as I can. And I'm just going to add a few pellets to lock that into place. And then I'll continue to fill the bag up over halfway, and then it's time to dump the lead in. Now in this particular session I've only got 12 wraps out in front of me, so the aerodynamics aren't that important, but if you're fishing at a reasonable distance you want to get that lead as bang centre as you can, and then continue to fill the bag up to within about 1 inch of the top of the bag. Then it's just about getting all of the air out of the bag. Give the top a twist, take a length of PVA tape, wrap it around 4 or 5 times and just tie it off in a double knot. And that's your solid bag almost complete. All that's left now is to just tidy up any of the loose edges. And then the very last thing to do is just push your corners in, just wet the corner, fold it over, hold it for a few seconds, and then that'll be stuck down. Same again on the other side, ready to go out.
So it's day 2 and we started to change our tactics a little bit. Liam's gone with 2 solid bags and a boom. However, myself, I am going to go for 3 solid bags on a spot at 17.5 wraps. And the reason why I'm going 3 solid bags is I believe it's the most effective method for catching carp. And when you're on a lake like this with this kind of difficulty, you've got to put your best foot forward. So I'm going to go 3 solid bags. Some more factors why the Gemini tidy stems are really good in my eyes is it's got a fluorocarbon insert, it's 45-pound breakage strain, and it's fully flexible. So it's always going to put fish safety first. You could sit in your bivvy at night and you can tie numerous bags up when you've got a bit of spare time on your hands. Attaching one of these to your main line couldn't be any easier. All you need is a loop in the end of your main line and it just passes through the fluorocarbon loop and your bag is now attached to your main line and ready to go. What's your confidence levels out of 10?
Not as confident as I was last night, but then the fish did start showing as soon as it started to go dark, so maybe the levels will peak a little bit later. Confident in the tactics. I think I've got the tactics right. Solid bags, 1 single on a Ronnie rig. Over a little bit of bait, we'll see. What are your confidence levels like then?
Pretty much the same as yours. The only thing I am confident in is we're going to be sitting down with a beer watching some European football.
Right, and so it's getting to that time now, just before kick-off in the football. Gonna get the rods out for the evening. This is just a bit of a side flick over the end of them lily pads. Gonna fish that super slack. Rod tip high. So the line just sits over the top of those lily pads. This one, solid bag again, out to the baited area at 12 wraps. to be fair. Nice if it was ice cold.
Yeah, that's nice.
Still cold though.
Cheers, boys.
So, second rod going out for the night. Third and final rod for the night.
All 6 of the rods are out there and you've just saw us putting them out and the heavens have decided to open. So we're going to take refuge in the bivvy and we've got a special guest here behind the camera. He's going to cook us some nice burgers for this session's instalment of Bankside Burgers.
We're going to go over to our new guest, as Liam's introduced, the Green Machine. Hopefully the burgers live up to the expectations. It's a great start. He's looking at the Ridge Monkey like, what the hell is this? Action.
Oh, you didn't say anything. So I am the Green Machine, as Pete just said. Tonight's menu, we've got 12% beef mince with cheese inside, American cheese, not cheddar, because that's criminal. And then on this one, we've got single patties so all the burgers have got chili, smoked paprika, onion salt, pepper, and what else did I put in there? And chili flakes and a bit of cayenne pepper. That'll be perfect. So, can't wait for the boys to try them.
How's it looking, Green Machine?
Sound?
Yeah?
All cooking good. Just let that cook for a bit, then I'll cook the bacon and then put the cheese on. Good to go.
So how long have you been a chef?
Well, I went to college when I was 18, so I'm 32 now. I ain't good at maths. What? 14? Is that 14 years? Isn't it?
What you had in there?
Streaky bacon rations. Not normal bacon, streaky. Best on a burger.
Looking forward to this.
Yeah, we look forward to it all day, to be fair.
You get rated out of 10, you know, as well, for presentation and 10 for taste.
20 total. Be prepared though, because Pete's harsh.
Only if it's terrible. Man, they look incredible, they do, I'll be honest.
One's got bacon, one's just got cheese.
Absolute heavens have opened.
Heavens have opened, we're going to have to be quick with the taste test. Right then, ready?
Yeah.
Burger, cheers. Carry on, fucking
Yeah.
scuffle. That's good.
It's good, that is.
Yeah.
Can taste it.
It's just
taste the
enough
heat. I thought, I hope it stops.
No, that is perfect, but I'm going to try and move under the water and then we'll give you the ratings.
That is good. What are you going out of 10, Lee?
What I'm saying?
Presentation first.
Presentation looks bang on, don't it?
It's got to be a 9.
It's got to be a 9.
Taste, I'd probably say 10 or 9. No, I'd go 10.
I think I'm going to go 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think...
The only thing I would add is more sauce, but that is nothing.
But if you're going to add
Nothing to
anything...
you.
If you're going to add anything, I said just sauce.
Yeah, for me, the only thing I would add is a little bit more sauce. Yeah, it's 11 now.
You say there was honey in it? So I'm going 9, I'm going a 9 and an 8. No, what did I say? 9 and 9, 18.
Yeah, 9 and 9, 18.
I think all that.
Yeah, solid burgers,
That's it
bro.
then, first guest on Burger Time scores an 18.
And it's a solid
Happy with
18.
that? I'm happy with that.
Mate, that's mint, that is.
I was worried.
You know what? Nah, you know what? I'm giving him, for me personally, I'm giving him 19. 10 for taste, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, taste-wise, look at that, it's immense, I'll be honest. I didn't think it'd be that good.
Bacon
I love bacon on a burger.
The bacon's
Crispy
crisp as
bacon
well.
on a burger.
Spot on. So there you have it. The first guest, Bankside Burgers. 19 from me, 18 from Liam. Absolutely solid burgers. Fair play to the green machine.
Yeah.
Hopefully this rain knocks off though, because it's starting to get heavy.
No, because under that tree, we're not getting really rained on, are we?
I'm not really under the tree. Right then, just a really quick nightly update for you because the Evans have well and truly opened since we've had them burgers. We've been bivvy bound, we've not been able to get out and watch the water, see what's going on or anything. I've just had a couple of bloops on my left-hand rod, so hopefully there's a few fish moving into the area, but we'll get back in touch with you either with a fish or in the morning. Morning update time. The rain didn't stop all night. We were told it doesn't really do a bite in the rain. 6 o'clock this morning, we've been rewarded. Nice little one to get us started. I think it's what they call a blank saver, but certainly some bigger ones in there. So going forward, we've got 24 hours left. We can make sure that those rods are perfectly positioned. This one was the margin, just the other side of the lily pads. Solid bag with the OG fish, match the hatch wafter. And yeah, it's nice to get off the mark.
So super wet one this morning. It's been raining all night, it hasn't let off. We had a thunderstorm. The pressure's dropped rapidly compared to the other days, and it's going back up to a late afternoon. So this bite time this morning is quite crucial. Hopefully we can capitalise on it. There's a fair few fish showing close in. Tend to be a lot smaller fish. I think they've had some floods with Bluebell and fish have swapped lakes and stuff. So I think that's why there's a few smaller fish in this lake at the moment. So I think it's about time Chef Green adopted his role before he leaves today, and he gets the brews on and the bacon sandwiches. So it's 12 o'clock on the second day. We've got less than 24 hours left. I was watching the water this morning and my bobbin shot to the top, and I kind of stood over it waiting for something else to happen, and then a little bit of line started going, so I thought, oh, typical big fish bite. I've hit into it. I got a tench this morning, only a small tench, got him in. I think I'm going to give him a couple more hours, and then I'm going to pull him out, go and have a shower, have a refresh, come back, get the rods out ready for tomorrow morning and tonight, and hopefully get one on the bank and try and save that blank. So I'm back in the swim now, just been using the facilities on the complex. Just had myself a lovely warm shower and I come back a new man. Feel great. Which on the walk back made me think the guy next to me has moved out this morning, but I've been speaking to him throughout the session and he had 4 fish up to 51 pounds. That sounds positive to me, so I thought I'd make the move to jump into the swim next door to me and put 3 solid bags on the spot that he's baited up and see if I can get anything off the back of that.
Yeah, I think as far as Pete's concerned, it's a no-brainer really. There's not really been any action. He had a tench earlier like he showed you, but apart from that, you've not really seen anything or...
They don't tend to show in until the evening, and it might be a bit too late to move then, so I've just gone with it and I'm gambling that there's some bait there and it's been rested all day, so hopefully they've moved in, and a bit later on when I put the rods out, I can just drop onto the spot, no disturbance.
My rods, barring my left-hand rod, which you saw went off this morning with that little carp, they've been out now for 24 hours, I've not touched them. Big fish water, I think sometimes just leaving them there, let the fish get used to the fact that they're there, you can sometimes trip a fish up. So we've got about 5 minutes now until England kick off in the Euros. So I brought my rods in, stuck a couple of spoms about out there. I'm going to leave them out now for the next couple of hours whilst we watch the game. They're all wrapped up and ready to go, so as soon as that final whistle goes, they'll be back out on the spot for the night.
We're in peg 9 now in my new swim. We're going to watch the England game in my bivvy where it's nice and dark where we can see the screen. However, I'm going to leave the front door open so we can see the water to see if we see any fish showing themselves. And then once the game's over, we're going to get back out and get our rods out for the night and hopefully have one tonight, and if not, ready for bite time in the morning.
Right, and so England have just somehow managed to get through again, by the skin of the teeth. Now it's time to get the rods back out. The first one going onto the baited area now. Solid bag, hit a tree. But that'll do. It's safe to say the weather's took a turn for the better. Spot on, we had rain all morning, overcast. The only thing that was in our favour was that the air pressure was super low, but it's turned into a beautiful evening. Definitely want to sit down and have a social. And the last one, the rod that did the fish this morning, solid bag again, injected it with a flat spot just to add a little bit more to the bag itself. Just flick to the other side of these lily pads.
The angler before me put over 100 spoms in. He was here for the week, so I'll give it a bit of a rest so I can build the confidence and moving on it. And I'm just going to stick a couple of bags on it. That is right on the money. England's won. We've just got the second match on now, and we're just going to give you a bit of an update about the venue we're fishing at.
Yeah, so like we've said before, we're fishing the Bluebell complex. They've got 5 lakes in total on site. We're focusing on Kingfisher this session.
This is like the big fish water of the complex.
Definitely. Beautiful mature lake.
Covered with trees. In the inner margins it's weedy, but as you push out into the lake it's very silty, but there is clay spots that people advise you to fish on.
Yeah, it's those clay spots that you're looking for really to produce the fish. But yeah, it's a stunning venue, stunning place, some absolute monsters to go at.
Units of fish. And there's some more good points about the venue itself. They've got showers, they've got a cafe on site, they've got charging lockers if you do run out of battery packs. It's got a fully stocked shop, and the bailiffs are very friendly and helpful.
Yeah, so the official number on the website of fish in the lake is 130.
Maybe just over original.
Yeah, but we do
Box
know
stock.
that they have trouble here with flooding between the lakes, and I think a few of the fish from the Bluebell lake itself have got into here, which are substantially smaller than the original stock. But
Which is like, for example, the one you had the first.
yeah,
That would be a Bluebell fish. I
that
believe.
I would
Lovely
have
dark,
thought.
lovely
Yeah,
dark
yeah,
fish.
nice
but
looking fish.
Yeah, I think that's one that escaped the bank.
Yeah. And of course, home to the infamous Benson, who resided in this lake for a long time and reached a whopping weight of 64 pounds. So,
Stunning looking fish.
oh yeah, it's got the pedigree to produce some absolute whoppers.
And if you do visit this complex, in the shop, they've actually got a few of their star carp on the wall in a taxidermist kind of form, and Benson's up there, so definitely take a look at him. He looks like an absolute warrior. But following through some of the stock in here, they're definitely catching him up, and there's definitely some good looking carp in here that you would love as a PB. So we're just having a quick social, watching the game, and this absolute unit has just jumped about 6 wraps out just to the right, where we've seen a few fish show before. So I'm gonna get a solid bag looped on this one, and I'm gonna get it back out there, and hopefully produces one of them absolute chunks. Oh, it's awkward. I'll have to just zip it, I think. Mate, I'm paranoid here. But the only way I can get there, the only way I can get to it is if I get in the water to cast that tree, because this one's blocking me. So yeah, the dedication is here.
This will be the final nightly update of the session for you then. Again, we're weirdly confident, although not a great deal has happened. We've both sat there just, again, watching the football, saying how confident we are. There's been a few fish show over Pete, like we said earlier. One of them was an absolute colossus. And then I've had a couple show over me as well, so the confidence levels are sky high at the minute. Hopefully it doesn't let us down. So with that said, that'll be it from us tonight. We're going to chill for the next hour or so, and then we're going to get in the bed because we've got to be up fairly early in the morning, packed away and off home. Good morning. We're into the final morning of the session now. Last night was quieter than I think we both expected. I think we both went to bed with a bit of confidence that something would happen, but it didn't. But about 7:45 this morning, my right-hand rod has screamed into life. The solid bag over on the baited area. Bringing it in, it took me straight into the lily beds in front of me. I've had to get the waders on, get out there, paddle through the lilies, and somehow I've managed to get it in the net. But yeah, it's a lovely common, maybe around 20 pounds. So I'm gonna get this out now and then we'll get him up on the mat and show you. Kingfisher common. Definitely not the monster we came for, but bigger than yesterday's and very welcome. There's a slick coming up now from my area off the flat spot, so I still think there's time to get a couple more and hopefully into one of the really big ones that are in here. But for now, I'm absolutely chuffed with this one. Probably a scraper 20 pounder, but one I'll definitely take. Let's get it back.
So we're coming up to the last couple of hours of the session. We've got to be off at 11 AM. I'm just looking across the lake now and there's so many pegs free, which for me, I've never seen that on my trips down here. Whenever I've headed to Bluebell, I thought I want to get on Kingfisher, but the lake's been choked up because it's so popular. However, at the moment, there's so many pegs, like this whole bank will be free when me and Liam leave. There's about 4 over there I can see. I think there's only 1 angler over there. There's a choice, so. But I think the England game had a big effect on that. I think everyone being at home or in the pubs watching the game. We decided to watch it on the bank and try and get a big fish. But yeah, we've really enjoyed the session. Like I said, we're just having a pack down and hopefully we can get one of the big residents on the bank before we leave. So that brings our 72-hour session here at Kingfisher to an end. Unfortunately, we couldn't get that 40-pound elusive carp that we're after.
No, next up we're going to be travelling down to Coking Farm, fishing Oak Lake, which I think is their specimen lake. So a few 40s to go at in there. Really excited to get down there. Like Pete said, this session, we've grafted for it, we've worked hard, but unfortunately the 40-pounder wasn't there for us.
So like I always say, if you're enjoying the videos, make sure you're liking and subscribing, and we'll see you on the next one.